Hey, welcome back to Styrene Relics. Well, I've been cleaning out some stuff at my brother's place, and I ran across some really cool stuff. Um, I started showing you some stuff, and golly, next thing I know, I'm pushing close to half an hour. And it's just mostly me reminiscing. Let me turn that down a little bit. And I apologize. So I'm going to have to do this again and cut some of it out. I'll show some of it to you later on, I guess. Um, anyway, I've got a few model car magazines here I want to show you. This is the newest one. It's a 1972 September, 60 cents. Buy it new. And it's the Baja Brute. Talks about it in here, those guys building it. I will definitely show you that one down the road. And here's another one. This one here is the Star Fury. Kitty or Kitten. What was her name? I don't already. Brain fart, can't remember. But anyways, they built this model, and I think it was out of a Johann Javelin funny car, and they made it. They turned it into a Nova. yeah, November 1970. So pretty cool. Going to show you that one. That's down the road a little bit. May 1969, Model Car Magazine. I have not gone through this one yet, but it looks pretty interesting. So we'll definitely take a look at it. And this one is July 1970 Model Car Magazine. And I can't remember who it was. I was watching it not too long ago, and it may have been an older video. I think it was Lucas C. And he was talking about Fantasia 55. I think it was Lucas C. But anyways, this I think is a two-part build, and I've got both of them, I believe. And but if nothing else, I do have the finished product here, so we'll take a look at it for sure. That's down the road. But this one is August 1970, Model Car Magazine. I definitely wanted to show you that one because it is of the Detroit show, and the Detroit show is right around the corner, guys. It's the 19th. And so I wanted to go through this and show you some old stuff from 1970 Detroit show. I believe it was in Cobo Hall. So let's get started with that. And I'm going to turn this light back around because these pages are yellowed really bad. Small things come in good packages, AMT. That's that funny car gremlin. Simple and sweet. That's a pretty cool little advertisement for a little bit of nothing. This is kind of interesting as well. You could buy your own track built into the table. You remember seeing those as a kid. You could buy this track. It was 6 foot 3 inches by 14. It took up that much floor space, and it had 6 high-speed lanes. So that's pretty cool. Over 50 feet per lap on these things. And here's the cool part: full price, only $900. The power packs were not included. $900. Terms is 1/3 cash with the order, and the balance due when it was shipped from Fort Worth, Texas. Now, that is really cool. I mean, can you imagine having one of those sitting down in your basement right now? Oh, man. You'd have every kid in the neighborhood over here wanting to race you and everything. Oh, man, you'd be the... Yeah, it'd be cool. It would be cool. All you'd need is a refrigerator full of Coca-Cola. I'm telling you, that would be cool. Here's something that's kind of neat. It's the new Pyros. I mean, the snow skeeter. You guys have seen these. Laramie Stagecoach Ghost. The Serpent. They've redone some of these, you know. So that's kind of neat seeing that ad. Canada's Precision Screwdrivers. That's those little screwdrivers with the spinning tops. I've seen those. I've got some myself even. The mini Hell Drivers. I remember seeing these decals and stuff as a kid. I remember seeing that. That was always kind of cool. I couldn't have any because, you know, it said hell. So, Magic Masker, 79 cents a bottle. You brush that on whatever you didn't want to get painted, and when you spray painted and it dried and everything, you peeled it off just like like tape. Here's something that I'm not familiar with. If you guys have seen them or anything or have one, I'd love to see it. Bugs Bunny. Was there a kit like that? I don't know. I.C.A. Or is this just an advertisement? It says here split for a Bugs Bunny kit. I don't know. At your favorite hobby store? I've never seen one, never heard of one. It'd be kind of neat to see one. I'll say that. Here's something that's really cool. A soldering knife. Looks like it's got an X-Acto tip and a holding, and then it screws into your soldering iron and heats up and melts the plastic as you're cutting it. Boy, that's got to be better than what I grew up with, because we were using butter knives in Mom's kitchen with the stove under her supervision, of course. But yeah, until, you know, my older brother said it was okay, and he would watch us, and Mom came home and the whole house smelled like plastic burning because it was. Oh, that was bad. Well, you know, you're kids, and that's how it works. All right, nothing there. RC scene. I don't know. There's really not a whole lot to see here. Chassis for RC cars. A Ford chassis car, $119 complete. McLaren, $127 complete. Economy frame, $99.95. Man, from Dynamic. That name I know, but I never did get into RCs, so, but I do recognize the Dynamic name. This is kind of neat. Now I have two of there. It says it's a 3-part, and this is the conclusion. I have 2 of the articles, 2 magazines that show this, and I haven't read through it, and I want to, because they're kind of cool. That's what I've done for my whole life, is drive truck. So I want to sit down and read it all, you know, together, and not have to jump around and look for the other magazine. But anyways, I think what they did, from what little bits I've just kind of gathered, they took a conventional truck and they made a cab over body out of flat stock, and I don't know all the particulars, but it looks like, you know, they made their own cab over. So I think it's kind of cool. And yeah, it looks here like the doors must be hinged, I'm guessing, or at least they're separate. So kind of cool. Like I say, I want to sit down and read this, but I haven't had a chance to. I actually been doing some other stuff. So anyway, pretty neat. I like the cab overs. I've rode around in them a bunch. I've never really driven them except for one time, and pretty cool. My little brother drove for American Red Ball, and it was a cab over. I rode with him down to Newport News. There was a soldier down there that was moving down there and from the UP, and I helped him all his stuff down there. Angle winder HO stuff. Now this is kind of cool because it looks like they're taking, again, I haven't read this one, a brass flat stock. I don't see the word brass in there, but I imagine that's what it was. Yeah, it says brass or steel, but they probably used brass. And they cut it out, and they made their own chassis, and it looks like it's like a little flexi chassis. I don't know if you guys ran in any of the 124 scale, but those were flexi chassis back in the late 80s, 90s. Looks like that's what they're doing with this little HO job. And then the engine goes in on an angle like this. And that's how you get your angle grinder, or angle winder, sidewinder is what we call them. But yeah, you put it in there on an angle, and the little pinion gear and hooked up, meshed up with the big gear on the axle. It doesn't really show it here real well, but if you didn't get the gears meshed just right, if it was too tight, it'd wear out right away. And if it was too loose, it would grind and bust out teeth. But if you got it just right, boy, howdy, watch out. That little thing would take it, because it was torquey then, you know. It was pretty cool. I remember my brother built a couple of those. This is a neat little article. The Gypsy Dune Buggy. Well, what they're doing is they're showing you how to make a little wagon out of it, you know, with the top. And they give you all the dimensions, a little landau top for it. This is kind of neat. You know, they walk you right through it and all. And here's the Revell glue on there. And it looks like they got a rear window for it. You can't make it out here, but I imagine that's what that's for. But, you know, the old black and white, and then the pages are all yellowed. But pretty cool. Looks like that would be an easy modification for somebody if they want to goof around with a little model kit. So anyway, here's something kind of neat. From conception to counter, the creation of a model car kit. The wavy-haired Tom Daniels is a big strapping 6-footer with a kind of a guy that you would imagine lifting weights before breakfast. And he does. I thought that was funny. But this is a big deal that Monogram was pushing. We made a bet that you could out-Daniel Tom. It was, I guess you had to come up with some kind of a crazy idea and then show them your idea, whatever, or build it one. I haven't read it. And they would make out these awards, and they were giving out $200 cash prizes and 25 years in Car Magazine. And what that consisted of was first place would be an extensive paid trip to Chicago and a tour through Monogram with Tom Daniels. That'd be kind of cool. Second place was $75 and a 4-year subscription to Car Model Magazine. Third place was $50 and a 3-year subscription. Fourth place through 25th place, it was a 1-year subscription. Now that's kind of cool because that's a lot of people winning and a lot of kids that would get involved into doing something like that. Now that I really like. And then this one, I didn't know they did this until it wasn't this magazine. It was another one they were talking about it. The Bronson bike. They were giving away the Bronson bike. You could actually buy lottery tickets to win his bike. They were saying that MPC 1/8 scale Bronson bike, you could build it and that kind of stuff. And then they came out and they actually was giving his bike away from the movie. And I don't ever recall that. But, you know, then again, 1970, I was just a kid myself. So, IMC or I.C.M.A. news. This is the Detroit show, and it is down in Detroit. It's at Detroit Autorama Cobo Hall, and it drew 1,023 entries. That's the largest number of model car kits ever known to be brought in a walk-in contest. 1970. That's kind of cool. 1,023 people. Here they are judging the cars and that. And yeah, I can't get my big fingers to work. Here's some of the cars. Now I'm going to try this again because I messed up once already. All right, it worked. Best in show and adult wild, second best originality, and best hand built. Wow. Dennis Johnson, age 28. He built this trike, and it's using the Dracula body and the trike on it, and the exhaust looks like it comes up through the roof. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. It looks like he's got one wheelie bar down in the middle. And then there's these little zingers. That's kind of neat. Here's another one. Oop, you can't see it. Let me back up just a tad. Here's another trike. And it's got four wheels. There's two of them up here. It looks like they're V'd in shape. Volkswagen Doom Buggy. That's kind of neat. Here's one. Junior mild first place. Andy Mick, age 11, from Westland, Michigan. A beautifully clean job on an AMT Gas Ronda Mustang with a glow silver and yellow finish. Tester's gold on a hood and Russ Davis decals brought his third modeling victory. That's kind of cool. It's a nice little build. It looks like he's plumbed the fuel tank and did the spark plug wires. There's another one here. Senior mild first place. Mondo Lopez, 16, from Flint, Michigan. How about that? David Roth Ford, MPC, funny car features, a long nose scoop. Oh yeah, look at that scoop. Wow. That's crazy. There's George Barris. And it looks like the Raiders coach must have been down there, the real one. And he's holding the Raiders coach model right here. I don't know if you guys can make that out. Kind of neat. Oh, I'm going to have to speed this up. This thing's 18 minutes long. All right, here's one. This is kind of really cool. He's taken, without trying to read this again, a 67 Dodge truck, and he completely modified it, made it into a ramp truck. And then he's got a Dodge Charger up on the top, funny car. That's kind of cool. I like that. And then here's one that's been pie-shaped, cut, and the driver sits up front. So, pretty cool. Early mid-custom. Age 23. He's built this custom here. Well, I didn't mean for this to take so long, guys. I hope you're still with me. A lot of cool stuff. Here's one here. This is interesting. I mean, it's Russell Cole, 10 years old, from Sterling Heights, Michigan. He took an MPC Don Garlett's dragster, and he cut it down, and he used the monogram tarantula body with the top of cardboard and sandpaper. He hand painted the rivet detail for the chute, or for the cover, here where the chute is. and he's put a chute release cord on it and a detailed MPC Super B engine with a blower from the Maverick funny car. Gold styrofoam paint under an AMT lime with flat block detail. MPC garlets and a Galloping Ghost 2 kits. That's what I thought. Man, if that kid only knew what he was cutting up. Oh my gosh. Have I done that before? This is Carl Casper here. That's kind of cool. There's a flat top. Old Glenn would get a kick out of that. I hope you're seeing this. Here's one that's kind of cool. I read this one. The paint job on it's pretty sweet. The guy's 28 years old. This has got the best paint of the show. Ken's Custom Corvette is a 69 Vet with molded in rear and injector and blower scoops. Spare parts. He uses spare parts. Where does it talk about the paint? Using his airbrush, only enough paint, DuPont acrylic lacquer to get the color right. Ken started in the front with white, faded to orange, then to red, then maroon. And then finally, the back end was black. Pretty cool. This one's neat too. If you notice, the exhaust comes out the roof. The driver sits in the back. That's neat. Gerald Turnbull, age 28, from Detroit. Eliminator, that's that Chevy right there. That's kind of neat. Clear top. A lot of guys were doing that. I remember my brother doing that a couple of times. From Plymouth, Michigan. Steve Druk. Probably butchered his name up. I apologize. More slot car stuff. I remember us kids, we always... did I mess you up? Nope. We always ran these bodies, my brother and I. Always had fun doing that. Then here's a little bit newer stock cars and Can-Am stuff. We did a lot of Can-Am racing when we were kids on that HO track. This is all hand-painted stuff. Trying to get through this, guys. I didn't realize it was going in that long. I'm sorry. So there we have it. That looks like that's going to be about the end of it. Well, if you made it this long, I appreciate it. Wow. Give me a like and subscribe. Guys, if you dug this kind of stuff, I've got some more mags. I'll show you. They're not going to be that involved, I don't think. We can buzz through them a little quicker than this one, but this one I kind of wanted to show because we've got the Detroit show coming up here next couple of days, actually. So, all right, I'm not going to hold you. Thanks for sticking around if you went this far. Appreciate it. I'll talk at you guys later. Bye.